Yep, you read the title of this video right, it's Despicable Me 3.
So, you two are villains now?
I mean, hello, sweetie. Uh-oh, busted.
So good, but I'm so bad.
Hey there guys, how are you? It's me, the Canadian Movie Buff, with a review of Despicable Me 3. After realizing that the mains were better off in the background, Illumination gives us their fourth and hopefully final entry in the Despicable Me franchise. This time, Gru and his wife Lucy are fired from the hero agency because they failed to capture Balthazaar Bratt. Sheesh, if that's what it takes to get fired, I'd hate to see the hiring process. Eventually, Gru is contacted by his long-lost twin brother Drew. He goes to his island and the two hit it off. After locating a priceless diamond in Balthazar's lair, Gru is convinced to go back to villainy for one last heist. Say what you will, but I like the first two Despicable Me movies. They were fun, fresh, and had just the right amount of humor that all ages could enjoy. When it came to the Minions movie, I passed up on it, and according to some of my favorite internet critics, I wasn't missing much. I do hope this film is the last one because at this point, the franchise has run its course. The most notable thing about the movie is the casting of Trey Parker as the villain. Interesting choice considering what he's most famous for. His character is a former child actor who's building a giant robot so he can use a diamond to get revenge on Hollywood for making him irrelevant. Part of me makes me wonder if Trey Parker looked at the script and said, this character sounds like someone from a South Park episode. I'll do it. By the way, are you fed up with the Minions? Well, turns out they're now a subplot in the movie that barely lasts 20 minutes of screen time. So good news if you're sick of yellow mutants in overalls. Yep, that's what they are, mutated strands of DNA. Don't know whose DNA, but the less we question it, the better. Steve Carell does a flawless job voicing Gru and Drew. Now, voicing two different characters isn't unheard of, but what makes this special is the vastly different personalities the brothers have. Gru is an introvert who wants to bury his past, and Drew is the lavishly wealthy opposite who wants to be a great villain. When you have these two opposites meet, it makes for some pretty interesting scenarios. Unfortunately, there's only so many times you can retell a story before it gets stale, and Despicable Me 3 falls victim to said staleness. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if the humor was appealing. There are some good jokes here and there, but it never quite reaches the belly-laughing momentum set by the first two. It definitely has better humor than Cars 3, but that's not saying much. A good chunk of it still relies on the Minions, and like I said, they're barely in the movie at all. So bottom line, the humor is pretty weak. Now back on the subject of the story. The structure is literally the same as the last two. Bad guy has something Gru wants. Gru goes to steal it. Family gets in the way, but ultimately he gets the thing and everybody's happy. Whoops, I just spoiled the whole movie. When we first entered this world in 2010, it was an original idea that was loved by many. Now it's evolving into a cash grab scheme thanks to its army of comic relief. It's kinda like that college kid who always wants to party. Dude, why are you doing this? You graduated 2 years ago. You gotta get ready for the real world. I think that's the mentality Illumination has right now, and I think that's the mentality that they need to let go. Yes, it was their first movie, and yes, it was a smash hit, but it's time to explore other options. You don't see Pixar constantly relying on their first movie to... Whether you enjoy this movie or not really depends on how much you enjoyed the original too. Don't avoid the movie if you didn't like Minions, go to the movie if you like Despicable Me too. If you've lost interest in the series, that's fine, just wait to go see it at the cheap seats. But if you're like me and skipped out on Minions, then you should see it at least once in theaters. Alright, that's my review of Despicable Me 3. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? What are your thoughts on the franchise as a whole? Leave your answer by commenting down below, hit subscribe if you're new, and as always, this is the Canadian Movie Buff saying I hope you had a fantastic weekend at the movies. See ya!